these Russian girls, he got a disease which he then gave to his wife. And now he wants Jeff Epstein to give antibiotics to his wife secretly.
If I was his wife finding this out, I would say this is why Apple's better than Microsoft. So the whole entire internet is in a kerfuffle and outraged of the new Jeff Epstein files, and a lot of names are being exposed. But today we're gonna focus on the bigger names that have been mentioned in the updated files. Today we're gonna check out 3 million Epstein file pages released.
Let's talk about the Epi files, namely the big names that you probably know that are in the documents.
Yep.
Donald Trump, of course, in the documents. William Gates, aka Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Jay-Z, Pusha T. And then we're gonna talk about some dude named Howard that's named in the documents. You probably don't know him, but you will after this. But first, to understand all of this, what you have to know is the Department of Justice under Donald Trump had a problem. You see, United States Congress passed a law saying, y'all gotta release those files. The Department of Justice said, all the files? Congress said, yeah. Did I stutter?
Do you think anyone that's in the files is just automatically canceled? Like, I'm talking about like insta cancel, like it's over, you're finished. Cause having anything to do with Jeffrey Epstein, that's not a good look.
A bunch of stalling. The Department of Justice said, okay, look, here's half the documents, and that's what you got. Those were the files that were recently released. 3 million pages out of 6 million pages. Congress said, didn't we say release all the documents? The Department of Justice excuse was they're trying to protect victims. I'm not even gonna insult you with the Department of Justice reasons.
Donald Trump trying to protect him.
But let's just say Congress is apparently trying to get the rest of the files released. But in this half of the files, like we said earlier, you got some big names, starting with Elon. Now remember, Elon Musk
been a weirdo.
I never spoke to that dude Epstein. He tried to invite me to the island. I said, no. Donald Trump, though, y'all should check on him. Well, turns out in the files, there is email correspondence between Elon and Jeff Epstein. Elon basically saying, yo, when can I fall through to the island? When can I pull up? Elon emailing him year after year. And this is after it came out that Jeff Epstein was committing those heinous crimes. And
yeah, get him gone. This nigga gotta go. I should have known something was wrong with Elon Musk when I found out he named his kid after his airship. What the hell is wrong with you? Why do you want to give him such an obscure ass name?
Special note of that, because here's a side note. Jeff Epstein, around 2005, that's when it came out that he was committing heinous acts. That's when you see a bunch of billionaires and politicians come out and say, oh, that's when I stopped talking to him. 2005, 2008, that's when I cut him off. But again, Elon hitting him up like 2012 saying, yo, it's Christmas time. Can I come to?
Get your freak.
The wildest parties you got? What's the wildest parties you got? He said, me and my wife, his wife at the time, trying to pull up. And what's kind of embarrassing, when Elon last messaged Jeff Epstein, Elon was like, yo, man, can't wait. Is the heli coming? Like, Jeff Epstein responded to him saying, look, man, I'm not finna be at the island this year. Like, you can't come. I'm gonna be in New York. Boy got rejected by a weirdo. Elon, tripping. And speaking of tripping, let's talk about William. I've been told y'all about William. So according to the files, Jeff Epstein is basically like drafting an email to himself, detailing the stuff about William Gates, saying William Gates messes with Russian girls. He's stepping out on his wife with these Russian.
Wow, all these billionaire unfaithful niggas, y'all disgust me. Like, you're not even cheating on your wife with some bad shit. You're cheating on your wife with some Russian girls that are allegedly underage. You weird ass nigga. How did these niggas make $1 billion? So you just gotta be like an immoral piece of shit, bad person to make a lot of money, huh? Screw this. Next time I go outside, I'm just gonna kick a homeless person, and why not? I'm gonna take his change from his cup.
With these Russian girls, he got a disease which he then gave to his wife. And now he wants Jeff Epstein to give antibiotics to his wife secretly. And he said, whole time Bill Gates over here, tears in his eyes, trying to.
If I was his wife finding this out, I would say this is why Apple's better than Microsoft.
Beg me this and that. Boy, stop it. If you could cry, you can walk to the bank. Because the only way I ain't telling nobody about this is if you give me a house. Jeff Epstein, side note, loved him some blackmail. Now, mind you, Bill Gates denies all this stuff. Elon Musk denies this stuff. But it's kind of tough to deny because these are emails that the FBI acquired. Now, here's why I said that, because here's where things start to get wicked. What I just told you about Bill Gates and Elon Musk is regarding what they found in Jeffrey Epstein's emails.
Oh, right.
But Donald Trump, Pusha T, and Jay-Z, who we're about to talk about right now, they don't show up in emails. They show up in allegations. Basically, people coming out and saying, yo, I saw Donald Trump, Jay-Z, Pusha T doing this. I saw them when I went to this party and that party. Donald Trump shows up a lot. People detailing in graphic account what they were told to do with Donald Trump.
Yeah.
People detailing the fact that Donald Trump had wild parties of his own. As
He
for Pusha T,
definitely
Jay-Z,
did.
it's a similar situation. But as far as we know, they show up one time in the files with one accuser saying 1994 she saw Jay-Z at a party, Harvey Weinstein was there, and they both...
Pusha T was booming back in 1994?
In is because of people
No
like
way.
Pusha T, who the accuser called a handler. They go on to say Pusha
Handler.
T would give them stuff to make them really sleepy, and then they would wake up at these parties. Now, besides all the big...
These are some crazy ass allegations. Telling me he's lacing people, drugging them, and getting him to these Diddy Epstein ass parties. I mean, to be honest, I really kind of don't care about this because we're talking about Pusha T, Pusha Smelly T. Like, we don't give a shit about Pusha T. You could push it somewhere else, my nigga. Jay-Z didn't listen to bro like that. I say they release all 6 million files. Because if Jay-Z and Pusha T are on these files, you know some more people in that bitch.
To you, there are plenty of other names in these files. Many people in Donald Trump's inner circle, politicians alike. But there's one politician I want to highlight for you, and that's Howard Lutnick.
Who's this bald ass nigga?
You see, he was Jeff Epps' next door neighbor. So a few years back, I guess he felt like he had to explain himself. So he goes on and does an interview. This is when it was all popping about Jeff Epps. He came out and said, look, all that stuff about Jeff Epps in the news, just because I was his neighbor, let me start by saying I got nothing to do with it. And when I tell you, he was being this boy should be an actor. Boy should get an Oscar, because he was furious that his name was even mentioned in the same sentence. He said, don't mention my name with that man. The interviewer said, you serious? He said, damn straight. He said, let me tell y'all something. I went over to introduce myself to Jeff Epps. Me and my wife was there. We knocked on the door. We said, hello. Boom. Jeff Epps opened the door. We said, hey, we saw a massage table in...
We're not believing all that bullshit, gang. We were neighbors with this weird ass nigga who had multiple people involved in the government, like Donald Trump, a lot of billionaire A-list celebrities going onto this island, and you're telling me you just happened to be a neighbor of his and you didn't go to the party as well? We don't believe that. I'm sorry. I don't believe that. I don't know about you guys. You need to get gunshot in GTA 5.
Of the room. That was weird. So we said, Jeff Epps, you like getting massages or something? Jeff Epps leans over and says, I love massages, but he was weird with it. Like, we thought it was weird, me and my wife. And then we said, okay, Jeff, we're gonna leave. We looked at each other and we promised we would never be in the same room with Jeff Epps again. They found him in the files. They found our boy Howard in the files emailing Jeff Epps saying, when can I pull up? When can I pull up to the island?
Damn!
Matter of fact, dude's wife was emailing Jeff Epps too. Just in case you didn't get our last message, could we pull up? We finna bring our friends Mary and Matthew. They named them too. They said they trying to bring the whole fam.
Is Diddy on the Epstein files? Because there's no reason why he shouldn't be.
I was guffawed when I tell you in his interview how passionate he was. And I said earlier he should win an Oscar, but honestly, maybe he was a little too passionate in the interview. Like he not Denzel, you know what I'm saying? Like you know when somebody puts on a little too much fire? That's what I felt like, my opinion, in the interview Howard was doing. So I wasn't surprised to see his name listed in those emails. So what comes next? Well, the crazy part to me is these were, again, half of the files. So the half that they didn't want to show you, ooh, it must be bad. And what it seems like is the Department of Justice is trying to say, look, we gave you half of the files. They're pretty big, right? So just leave us alone. I'm genuinely curious to know if that would work. It seems like people want it all. So
we want it all, pause.
Side note, if y'all remember, the FBI under Donald Trump came out earlier and said there ain't no names on the file. Y'all just imagining things. There's no list. Well, we're here now. And it seems that there was a list.
Bunch of lies.
Somebody's lying. And to go further, just remember, files mean nothing if people aren't brought to justice. I'm curious to see what happens next. Like, there's this information, but if nobody is pursuing, no government organization is pursuing this information, then what do? We just look at the files, these people did all this, and then we just move on? Well, I think the American people are past that point, and I think I could speak for everyone when I say we demand justice.
All right, YouTube, those were the 3 million Epstein files that were released, and you guys let me know what are the craziest names in the files so far. It just seems like everyone is in the files. If you ask me, I feel like Cat Williams should go back on Club Shay Shay and do another exposing for the whole 2026, because I feel like a lot of names are gonna get dropped. But if y'all missed the video, please show some love to the kid. You know, I'm gonna keep it pushing, I'm gonna keep it going. Follow, social, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what I should react to next. Join the Discord because we're active on there. It's been TwoEm, and hopefully stay to the end.